Hello, everybody. Welcome along. It's Thursday. Would normally be Championship Predictions Day. I had two choices here. We can either miss a week, or why don't we do League One predictions? And who is the man for the League One predictions? Welcome, Cod's Vlogs, the legend, Knappers. How you doing, sir?
All good, Ben. Thank you. Thank you for having me back on. And great to be discussing League One. It's hotting up, especially at the top. I think you obviously saw Barnsley against Sheffield Wednesday the other day. Two Titans. Yeah, it's really getting tight. At both ends. But at the top, it's a right roller coaster at the moment.
So we've got a bit of a reduced round, Nappers, because of the international postponement. So what we'll do, we'll throw in the Tuesday night game between Exeter and Barnsley. As ever, play along in the comments. I must ask first, do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first? Or shall we rotate and take it in turns?
I'm going to let you go first. I'm going to put the pressure on and let you go first, and I know what I need to do.
Right, we start with Charlton versus Wycombe. Charlton, I think, have won back-to-back. Wycombe, I don't trust them as much without Ainsworth and without Mehmeti. I'm not entirely sure Charlton get the third win, but I'm not sure Wycombe get the win. I'm either on a draw or I'm on Charlton. Do you know what? I'll go Charlton. Third straight win. Wycombe will score. Let's go. I like that front three for Charlton. Let's go 2-1 Charlton. What do you reckon?
I agree there. I think Charlton will win the game. I think I agree on your sentiment on Ainsworth. I think that I didn't really like that move for all parties, if I'm being honest with you. Again, they've been a bit poor away from home lately. Wycombe, I know they beat Bristol Rovers, but they lost to Shrewsbury away from home. I think it was Burton away from home as well. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Charlton.
Let's move on. Exeter versus Accrington. Accrington are right in it, and they lost at home to Plymouth the other night. And I don't know if this is the year that they're going to go, and the fixtures are stacked up because they went quite deep in the Pizza Cup. I think Exeter have had a bit of a rest. Accrington skew better at home than they do away. So, as much as they bring a lot of character to the league, I think they might be going, and I'm going to back Exeter. They haven't been scoring as freely since he who shall not be mentioned has not been playing. So let's go for a low-scoring win. Let's go 1-0 to Exeter.
This just gives me vibes of a team that are struggling down the bottom. So many suspensions, playing against a team that are good, especially at home. They're looking to make it 3 straight wins at home, Exeter. But I think it'll be a draw. I think Accrington are solid enough. And if you look at the games recently that they've lost, it's to Plymouth at home, Portsmouth at home. Bigger football clubs, better football clubs, and better teams than them. So I think this is an evenly matched teams, and it should be a decent game. Accrington would have preferred it to have been at home, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one. I think Exeter are hit and miss, especially since Gary Colwell's come in.
This is where I feel very inferior because we're about to do Fleetwood. I'll try my best. I know I'm not the expert on this one, but Fleetwood versus Lincoln. Nappers, I've got a bit of danger on both of these sides, kind of just fizzling out. They're not going up. They're not going down. They're kind of, in that no man's land. Lincoln obviously lost that home record. They skewed better at home. Lincoln games tend to be quite low scoring. We like the Fleetwood firepower, no? So not just because you're on. I'm going to back your boys. Let's go 2-0 Fleetwood.
Well, it's my birthday on Saturday, so it'd be too good if Fleetwood won the game. Yeah, absolutely. But Fleetwood are one of those against the good sides. They put on a display. They play the same way every week to set up not to lose the game and be very sound defensively. However, on Saturday we went to win the game at Derby and won spectacularly. Should have won by more, in my opinion. Again, I saw these two teams fizzling out. I've got a bet on with my mate who's a Lincoln fan that whoever finishes low in the table at the end of the year has to wear the opposition shirt. So it's a huge game in that. But I'm going to go for a draw. I think it'll be 0-0 I'm going to go for. I think that another clean sheet would be good, but no goals in this one. They're missing a lot of players.
Happy birthday and a 0-0. Huge game at the bottom. MK Dons versus Morecambe. Now, MK had a huge win, didn't they, at Accrington last week. Morecambe are terrible away from home, and MK are terrible at home, but I think they've got more quality, and I think they've got just a bit more back. Do you know? I think Morecambe will score, so I'm going
Yeah.
to go. Let's have some fun. 3-1 MK.
Yeah, even in defeats away from home, Morecambe, they either get battered or they're in the game and, they lose by the odd goal. I think away at Shrewsbury lost 2-1, away at Fleetwood lost 1-0. They went through an awful patch where they were playing Wednesdays, Plymouth, Ipswich, all back-to-back. So it's hard to tell. If they were at home, it's a mid-table form. MK Dons have won the last 2 games. They've taken 7 from the last 12. But because they're at home, they're going to win 1-0. And again, that I think takes them probably needing 7 points till the end of the season, MK Dons. So 1-0, but a huge disappointment from last season where they got to the semi-finals of the playoffs.
Big game, this one. Peterborough versus Derby. So Derby on the ropes a little bit. Peterborough not necessarily playing well, but they've just got 4 or 5 really good players. And this is the one where if Peterborough beat Derby and you're a Derby fan, all of a sudden you're looking over your shoulders. I don't trust Derby at the moment, and this is not just because they're playing Ipswich next week, but I don't think they're going to win, Knappers. But I think we might get a scoring draw. Maybe one of the teams will equalise late or something. It stinks of both teams to score, so I'm going to go 2-2.
Yeah, I like Derby. I like the way they play. It's an experienced side, and it's been cobbled together. And I don't think it's right for a full League One campaign. I think they've kind of gone a bit like Salford have done in League Two over the years. I think a bit like Ipswich have done, where the recruitment will need to improve if they want to get out of this league, because I don't think they'll do it this year. Derby, in my opinion. Peterborough at home, they are good at home. I know they've lost 5 times at home, but Derby away from home against the bigger boys, got hammered away at Barnsley. They lost at Ipswich. Obviously they've not been great against those bigger boys. And Peterborough, one of those. I'm going to go for a Peterborough win. 2-1. I agree both teams to score, but I back the Posh to win.
That would very much hot up the playoff race as well. So no offence, Derby fans. I do like it for that reason. Final one for Saturday is Portsmouth versus Port Vale. So Portsmouth have got loads of points under John Mousinho. I mean, they've got the points against the teams you'd expect them to, and they've got a red-hot striker in Colby Bishop. I know Port Vale have got a few of their sort of more higher chip attacking players, Harrison and Wilson and Taylor, are all kind of back. I see Portsmouth winning this, and I think maybe to 0 as well. Let's go comfortable. John Mousinho, Pompey 2, Port Vale 0.
Yes, I do think Portsmouth will win the game. Port Vale are a good side, and the form of late, they've not been great. They've not been winning too many games, and it's like they've forgotten how to get over that final hurdle, because in games they deserve to win. Against Fleetwood, they were the better side, and one of the best sides I've seen this year as a team personally. And against Burton, a bit of unfortunate luck goes against them. Unfortunately, away at Fratton Park, Portsmouth are in the groove. Since Mousinho's coming, I think they're averaging something like 84 points over the 46-game season. I do think Portsmouth will win and keep that slight chance of the playoffs alive. 2-0.
On Sunday, I feel a bit sorry for Forest Green here, because they might get the bounce back from Sheffield Wednesday from Tuesday night. And I want Duncan Ferguson to do well, Knappers, but when I hear him saying they're outstanding against Plymouth, when they kind of went 2-0 down and just kind of sat there and just were happy to lose 2-0, it makes me think that the same thing's going to happen. I don't think Wednesday will turn up and hammer them. I don't think they're going to need to, but I still think it's going to be comfortable for Wednesday, and they're going to be going back top. Forest Green 0, Wednesday 3.
I think Wednesday will win. I don't think it'll be as convincing as other people think, because Forest Green Road, it's a tight pitch, small ground that'll be, full to the rafters. There'll, be a sellout crowd from Sheffield Wednesday, who are always well supported, and I think they took 5k to Barnsley on Tuesday, which is phenomenal at any level, no matter what the distance is. So that will have an impact. But I think it'll be 1-0. I just think it'll be something like a header from a corner, something small just to get them over that line. It doesn't matter how they win it, as long as they win it, because there'll be a couple of doubts in the end. No matter you've gone 23 games unbeaten, you're 2 without a win. You've drawn 1 against a promotion rival, and then you've lost 1 against a promotion rival. If you don't win on Sunday all of a sudden, questions will be asked, and all of a sudden there's 8 or 9 games to go, and maybe nerves will kick in, but they'll get over that line. And it's a typical Darren Moore win, in my opinion, going to happen on Sunday.
I can see it exactly how you just painted it out, actually. We will do, just so we can include Barnsley. So we're going to do a second Exeter game. So Barnsley go to Exeter on Tuesday. So we've already predicted Exeter versus Accrington on the Saturday. Barnsley get the Saturday off, so they should be a bit fresher. They're in the mood. I think Exeter score, but I just see Barnsley turning up and just muscle memory and churning out another win here. And I think they're going to score a couple as well. So I will go 3-1 to Barnsley on Tuesday night at Exeter.
I like Exeter, especially at home. I think they've had a phenomenal season. I think obviously their players are unfortunately for them, they've had issues with that up front this year. But they score goals, and they had one of the best front threes in the league at the start of the year. Obviously, a bit torn apart due to issues out of their control at the football club. I like the way they play, but Barnsley are a different animal, and they did this 6 years ago, where they stormed into the playoffs and won promotion, and it's the Barnsley way, isn't it? And I do think they'll win 2-0, and no one's mentioned them for top two. I think they won before Tuesday 9 of the last 11, and they drew 2. If they went to go and get 29 points from the last 11 games, which included Wednesday, they'd have enough points to get into the top 2. So they know the jobs. It's going to be tough as it is, but it's just one step at a time, and they'll do it 2-0.
Brilliant stuff, Knappers. So what we're going to do, because that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, and everybody else has got 12, I'll do an average. We'll do a points per game, and we'll bump your
it
score
worked
up,
for Wycombe,
Knappers.
so it can work for us.
Very much work for Wycombe. Matt Holland is at the Matt. I'm good at everything. Holland is at the top of the leaderboard. Sam Parkin and Hugh Woosencroft just behind him. There is a big gap then down to Joby McAnuff. Do you think you can dive into that gap in between, Knappers?
Well, absolutely. There's some good names in there as well. I just don't want to be below Gab Sutton. You just aim for Gab Sutton, get above him, and then at least you're not on the bottom of the screen. So Gab's an expert, so if I can beat him.
Gab had a hard week where there was quite a few surprises, so I think you may well get above him. But yeah, it depends on the week, doesn't it? And we're in your wheelhouse here with League One as well. Right, we are going to shoot off to Patreon now. We're going to talk a bit to Knappers about League One, a bit about Fleetwood specifically as well. You can find Knappers at Cod's Vlogs on Twitter and on YouTube. Do go and subscribe and follow him on Twitter. And do sign up for Patreon, where you can hear more from Knappers right now. And of course, get your own predictions. Even if you're a championship head, get your own predictions. There's no championship this week, so it's all League One down there in the comments.